Hi guys, welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be talking about how you can close your first SMMA client if you don't have any previous case studies or testimonials. So I'm a beginner myself and I know how hard it can be to close your first client without any previous case studies, because whenever you try to close a client, the clients ask for your previous work or kind of references, and when you don't have that, it's kind of hard to deal with that particular objection. So that is the problem that I'm going to be tackling in this video. And when I was doing research on this topic, I found a lot of cliche stuff like hiring a media buyer or a white label agency, all of that stuff. So I made sure to not include any of that in this video. All of the tricks that I'm going to be sharing are going to be completely unique, and I can pretty much guarantee that none of you guys have heard about them previously. So I'm packing a lot of value in this video for you guys. So after watching this video, if you feel like it, just make sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. It means a lot and you can be part of this community, right? So let's just jump right into it. Now, right off the bat, I want to clear some things out, because I think this particular misconception is holding most of you, like 90 to 95% of you guys, back, right? So I want you to take a look at the flow chart that you see on the screen right now and just plot out where do you stand on this particular flow chart. Do you have more than 6 months of hands-on digital marketing experience? If your answer is yes, and you do have a particular skill that you can serve your particular niche, and you're confident that you will be able to deliver the services, but your problem is that you don't have any testimonials or case studies, then you can keep watching this video. In case you have more than 6 months of hands-on digital marketing experience and you're confident that you can deliver the service to your clients, right? So keep watching if you're in that category. If that's not the case, I want you to ask yourself, is this your first business? And if it is your first business, I want you to do free or cheap work, right? Because that is the best way for you to gather testimonials. You're doing free work in exchange of testimonials or references, right? And this is the best way for you to get started. You are going to do free work and you're going to get testimonials from that, as well as the confidence to deliver service, and you're going to get experience from that, right? So if you're a complete beginner, you don't have any past experience of digital marketing, and you don't have you haven't run any business previously, the best bet for you is to do free or cheap work. But if that's not the case, keep watching this video and we will go through that, right? So only the applicable ones are supposed to watch this video, right? I wouldn't recommend the other people to actually go ahead, and because this advice is not for you guys, right? It's for specific set of people uh, who are kind of qualified from this flowchart, right? So let's move on. Trick number one that you can use to get your first client without any case studies would be to provide them with value in the pitch deck before pitching them, basically, so that you can build your trust. Now let me explain this with an example. So let's say the potential client that you're on a call with is doing Facebook ads, and or has been doing Facebook ads, or at least is aware of it, of the potential of it, right? So what you are going to do is kind of build a presentation that goes through the best practices of Facebook ads, what are the copies that work and what makes the copies work, and the creatives, right? And what makes a good creative and all of that. And you kind of teach them these stuff, right? That how can you kind of optimize your ads and all of that stuff. And if you don't want to do that work of making that entire presentation, I have actually made that presentation. If you're interested, just drop a comment and I'll just send it to you, basically, right? So that is what you are supposed to do, and by doing this you will be able to build trust. You're not going to be getting that question in the first place, right? Because you are going to build trust and kind of prove your credibility, because you're teaching them something and you're building your authority. Because the question of testimonials only comes when the client is kind of unsure, right? Because you're probably not as confident on the sales call itself, right? So the client has doubts on you, and that is why the question arises in the first place. Do you have any previous works to kind of back it up, right? And by doing this, and by the way, it's very important to be confident and to know what you're talking about when you're doing this. So just confidence is the key in sales, right? If you're confident and if you have the conviction, you will be able to close the sale anyhow, right? So that is very important. And how do you build confidence? You build it by practice. Just go out and do an internship, maybe sales internship, and just talk to as many people. You just improve by iteration. So that was the first trick. Again, let me know in the comments if you want the presentation. Now, trick number 2 is to talk about their competitors' marketing results, right? So, because as humans, we are very competitive, and entrepreneurs, especially when they are competing locally. If you are running a lead generation agency, at least this is more applicable. So, the local competitors are kind of very much in competition with each other, and if you talk about what are their competitors doing to market their services and getting better results to them, then they would be more likely to listen to you and kind of take you seriously and all of that stuff, right? So if you talk about what their local competitors are doing to market themselves and how you can help them get an edge over their competitors, so this is again explaining them the stuff, right? You can just uh, pull over some Facebook ad results from their like local area, like showing them what their competition is doing right and what they are missing out on, right? Because as like local business owners, you don't ever want to lose to your local competitor, because that means that you're like basically pulling money out of your own pocket, right? Because that's how the local business works, right? So they don't ever want to lose to their local competitors, and you can leverage that to your advantage. So that was the second tip. Yeah. Now, tip number 3, and this would be my final tip before we move on to the bonus, which would be to increase two things whenever you are in a call with a prospect or whenever you are kind of pitching your services, right? Which, and the two things that you really want to increase is the perceived value of your service, firstly, and secondly, you want to increase the conviction that you're talking to your prospect with. These are our two main things. Now, the conviction part is pretty self explanatory, but I am going to be elaborating on how you can increase your perceived value of your offer or of your service, right? And for that, I will show you guys a formula on the screen. You should be able to see that right now. And this is a formula that I got to learn from Alex Hermosi's book $100 Million Offers. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend that you check it out, right? So in this book, this is a formula that kind of the prospect looks at subconsciously to kind of judge the perceived value of your particular service. And what you're basically aiming for is to increase the top end and decrease the bottom end, right? So what you want to increase is the dream outcome. You want to identify what the dream outcome is and kind of take all of your conversation towards the dream outcome to help the prospect realize that this service can kind of help them achieve their dream outcome. And you also want to increase the likelihood of dream outcome. Now in this case, testimonials can help, but without testimonials also, if you can provide them with value, as I mentioned in the first and second trick, you can build their trust and kind of increase their kind of trust on you to increase the likelihood of your dream outcome, right? And you want to decrease the time commitment, because as humans we suck at being patient and we don't like to wait, basically, right? So you don't want them to wait to get the results. Just give them quick wins, and you will be able to increase the perceived likelihood of the perceived value of your offer, right? You also want to decrease the the effort that it requires for them to achieve that dream outcome, right? So these are the two things that you want to decrease, and you want to increase uh, the the thing that's about the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood of that dream outcome, right? And the bonus part is if you have a killer offer on top of all of this, there is no way that a client is not going to basically sign with you, right? There is no practical way, because if you have an irresistible offer and you give them practical like risk reversals and all of that stuff, uh, you got the client. There is no way that client is going away, right? Even if you don't have any case studies, right? So just make a good offer, and for that I would highly recommend that you read $100 million offers. It will teach you exactly how you can do that. If you don't want to read it, I'll also be making a video specifically on offers, so stay tuned on that. Okay, let me know how you felt about this video if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.